We're live! Hey everyone, welcome to Talking Normal. I'm Nikki.
Hi everyone. I'm Jamie. I'm so excited for everyone to join us this evening to talk about Star Wars and The Force Awakens, as well as theories. Talk about the trailer today, the trailer that came out about 2 weeks ago. That happened, or God, it may even be 3 weeks ago at this point, during the not Super Bowl. God, I don't know my head. I'm all over the place. I'm like so excited for Star Wars. I'm excited for Hunger Games, and then this Hamilton thing's going on, and my head's just all over the place. So I apologize.
I feel like all the Star Wars fans were like, that was the Super Bowl, right? Like, that's what we want.
Or this Monday Night Football, and I'm just calling it the Super Bowl. At any rate, so before I toss it, I guess I'll just get started with a little bit of show and tell. So as we introduce, we'll talk about some fun Star Wars stuff we have going on. So right now I have, if you can kind of see it, it's Star Wars onesie on. Bought it at Target. It's pajamas. It has lots of fun stuff, and it's actually really warm. So I apologize, like any misty face, dewy face that I eventually get. And then I also have my Star Wars cup here, and I'm being lame and I'm just drinking water. So sorry, guys. So let's toss it over to Beth.
Hi everybody, I'm Beth, and I don't have anything fun Star Wars on tonight because for the most part these hangouts are the neck up, and I don't have my wig anymore. I lost it. And only Yoda hat that I have is a toddler one, and it didn't fit. So I'm not wearing anything fun, although I do have quite a few Star Wars type shirts, a couple of them that I've had since high school. And I am having a cranberry spritzer. So it's delicious, but I really don't like liquor. I prefer wine, and I just don't have any wine. I have lots of wine, but I didn't want to open a bottle at 9 o'clock tonight. That's what I'm having, and I'm excited to be here and talk about Star Wars, although I have not read any theories or spoilers or anything, so I'm coming in totally just as a weird fan.
Okay, sorry. I was muted for a second. So I'm really excited to introduce everybody. Natasha, you may have seen us tweeting some of her cosplay outfits out. She's the one who's dressed up. We've probably seen her dressed up as Claire and various other amazing characters. So Natasha, please introduce yourself and talk about Star Wars.
Sure. Hi, I am Natasha, and I don't use Twitter a whole lot, but I'm going to try to keep up with it tonight. I am wearing my Ewok Princess Leia costume tonight, all made by me, and I am drinking out of my Return of the Jedi original Burger King from the 80s cup. Unfortunately, it's just water. I wanted to have wine, but it's been a really long day, and I'm too tired. So, plus I had to, put my weave on and everything.
It's impressive. I'm also really impressed about your cup. Now, did you own it? Did you have it since the 80s, or did you buy it?
I had a few of them, but I collected more of them from like flea markets over the years, and so I only had a few growing up. So. Yeah.
Okay, so, and then finally bringing it back to Nikki, who brought us introduced in the beginning. So, hey, Nikki.
Hi everyone, I'm Nikki. Instead of putting a weave on, I did my own hair, and let me just tell you, not that easy. This one I nailed, this one I didn't. So I just went for the cinnamon buns or the bagels or whatever we like to call them. This is a shocker that I'm actually drinking something because I thought all of you would be, and I'm the only one, and I never am.
I'm drinking.
Oh wait, I thought you said you didn't open anything.
I just put vodka in my cranberry spritzer.
Oh, I wasn't listening very closely. I was looking at my buns. But I did a vodka spritzer of sorts myself, and I put this blue straw in it because I thought it looked like Luke's lightsaber. So
Oh, it does.
there you go.
This is a That's Normal cup. We got these
Aw.
at Comic-Con in our hotel room
I almost used that one too.
for our libations.
Oh, and I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt, which it's hard to see, but there it is. And I have some lovely books behind me.
Man, hold up.
That's
I
very
thought I wouldn't
nice.
have anything compared to you guys, but
Well,
do.
I found some old, I have a sticker book that was just in a big scrapbook when I was a kid, and it just had, like, I think it was supposed to be a scrapbook, but it was supposed to be something where you, like, really collected stickers, but instead of, like, having, I would just put any sticker I had in there. In the back of it, there are even, like, the sticker outlines, you know, like, just anything sticky. I was like, I'm putting it in here.
Mhm.
But I have like all like the little scratch and sniff ones and all these other ones, and then I have a bunch of like Reader's Digest stamps that my mom got. Like, does anybody remember like Publishers Clearinghouse had stamps? Anyway, those are all in there. And then I had like regular kid stickers and Care Bears and stuff. And then I have this whole couple of pages of really awesome original 80s Star Wars stickers. They're like I think like 2x3 size stickers, and they're all the characters, and they're totally legit, and they're mine, and they're in my scrapbook.
That's awesome. Beth, next time you come, I'll have to show you. I also have a sticker book. I guess that it was the thing in 1980 that kids born then created these. And I have like lots of very 80s stickers, and I have ones that are I don't think I have Star Wars ones, but I have ones that are those size, and I remember that you would get them out of vending machines. Like,
That sounds right.
They were like 50 cents, and they were like extra shiny. Like I can picture, I have a Joan Jett one. Like, I swear it's like the weirdest, most random thing. But anyways, I'm completely on a little bit of a tangent there, but all right. So, one of the main reasons that we're talking today is the trailer that came out, and this was the official trailer, even though I guess Disney/Star Wars saying that the other ones are teaser trailers or something like that. But so I guess let's just go around and just give your initial reaction to the trailer.
I'll go.
Okay.
Go for it.
Again, I was watching it during the middle of a football game, which I literally had to ask my brother what channel that was on. He wasn't even sure. And it felt like when it started, I was like, I'm like watching the movie now. Like, it didn't feel like a trailer where it was just like clips. I mean, there were a lot of that, but it was like it started with that moment of who we guess is Rey. She pops up and you see her eyes, and it was like, I don't know, this moment of like, oh my god, this is happening. Like, this movie is really happening. I was just really excited.
In my living room, there was quite a few tears, not afraid to say, by both my husband and I. We're both huge Star Wars fans, so the music is so iconic. I think that's what really does it for you in the trailer. Aside from everything else, that music just, we grew up with that, and it gives you all the feels.
Yeah, my experience is exactly the same as you guys. I had no idea what channel it was supposed to be on. That did not occur. I mean, I had to ask Twitter. And then I'm sitting here just like not even paying attention to this football game, but recording it and feeling like an idiot. And then it came on, and I immediately teared up and then got very, emotional. But it's just, I mean, it's the same thing. The music is emotional, but just knowing that there's a whole story and that it's obviously reminiscent of the ones that we're used to. I mean, Rey is on Jakku or whatever, but it looks so much like Tatooine, and it looks like the origin stories of both of the other trilogies, and then for it to have these nostalgia moments as well with Han and Chewie and Leia and everything. It was great. I cried, and I watched it probably 20 times on my TV, and then got online and started looking for the super mashups, which are even better, like, because it's so much more.
Mm-hmm. Did any of you see some of the like Easter eggs things. Like they would show the trailers and they would point out Easter eggs and then talk about it.
Yeah.
I went down a rabbit hole and followed one of those. It was like a 30-minute video, but it was amazing.
Well, what are some of the good ones? Like, what are some of the good Easter eggs?
Well, like when she first pops up, her mask is definitely the shape of like the stormtrooper eyes. Mm-hmm. So she has found that at some point. She's probably inside of, I can't remember which ship it is, the one that we see.
The Star Destroyer.
Yeah, the Star Destroyer. What else? Oh, there was a really weird moment or a couple scenes where they kept cutting back and forth between Poe and Finn, and they're wearing the same outfit. And why are they wearing this outfit, but in different moments and different places?
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of speculation about why Finn has what is assumed to be Poe's jacket.
Yeah, like whole outfit, actually, I think. Yeah. They pointed it out.
And they have a very cool moment in the trailer, which was really my favorite moment of the trailer, but we can talk about that later. But I'm really, really interested to see how they're connected, because I think the original trilogy doesn't do a lot. There's a lot of connections between the characters, but there's not a whole lot of subtext. And just the moment that Poe and Finn share felt like such subtext to whatever's going on with them that I'm really excited to see how they're connected.
Mm-hmm. And then there was like a lot of like, who is Rey crying over at the end? Like they were pausing on that scene, like gave all of these options of who it could have been, and is Kylo Ren holding Luke's lightsaber at one point? Like they just found all of this crazy stuff. I was like, oh my god, what is this movie going to be about?
Yeah, so I read some theories. So supposedly the internet confirms that the lightsaber that you see like being passed along is Luke's/Anakin's lightsaber. So kudos to the internet, because I don't think I would have picked that up like right away. Probably never, unless somebody like pointed it out specifically. And so it's possible that it was Rey that finds it, but it's also, then I've read other things that it's Leia's hand that's giving it to somebody else.
I read that Leia had it and she gives it to someone, but who knows?
But then, I think like I'm with you, Nikki. Like I went down a YouTube rabbit hole, and some are done much better than others. Like I guess I can't really talk because we're doing like a hangout here, and it's not any professional quality, and people are probably like, nice echo, guys. So I realize that I really don't have room to talk. However, some of them are definitely much better quality than other ones. I almost wish that Nerdist would do like a longer version. Like I really like Jessica Choba, and she does like Nerdist News. So I just enjoy her personality and that she talks, and they have really high quality. So I just wish they would kind of do a much longer version. But anyways, I've gone down that rabbit hole, and a lot of the question is who's related to whom. So is Kylo Ren, like there's been speculation that he's the brother to Rey, or he's like the son of Luke. Like I've just seen so many different theories. So what do you guys think about him? Do you think that he has Force powers?
I think, well, he definitely has Force powers. There's a lot of things like you can pick up. If you look at the poster for the movie, you can see that Kylo Ren and Rey are like kind of side by side, like they're looking the same way. Yeah, they're like parallel, and it sort of seems like a reason behind that. And he's definitely a Force user. And actually, did you guys see the Duracell commercial that came out that has spoilers in it, or everybody thinks it has spoilers in it?
No.
But please tell us.
It's a really great commercial, actually, and it's about a boy who is pretending to be a Jedi, or I think he might be Finn or something. He has a lightsaber. He's using the batteries. Obviously, that's the point of the commercial, and he wants to save his sister. Well, his sister comes out in a Rey costume, and she starts fighting stormtroopers with a lightsaber, and everybody has not seen Rey use the lightsaber before, and everybody's going, oh, is this a spoiler? Because everybody seems to, at least the internet, seems to think that she must be a Force user, and we haven't been told that in any of the trailers yet or anything.
Yeah.
So it makes more sense why they're parallel on the poster, I guess, then.
It seems to me that the basic tenet of what's going on is that Rey, we're following Rey's journey. There's the other, obviously it's also about Finn and Kylo and Poe, but I mean, I think that for the most part we're following Rey, who's mirroring Luke, who's mirroring Anakin, and we're going to see her story kind of go. I think it makes sense for her to somehow be a Skywalker. It makes sense for her to be, to have Force powers. It makes perfect sense for her to be someone who we see grow into that. I don't think that for me, like, that kind of stuff is not spoilery. If it ends up not being that and she ends up being, I don't know, Amidala-esque in that she has no Force powers and she's just boring, I would be really, really shocked.
Aww. I think I've read like 8 billion theories at this point on this topic, but I think the one that a lot of people keep going back to is that Rey and Ren are twins, and that Kylo is Ren who has gone to the dark side, and Kylo is an amalgamation, or his name is a mashup of Skywalker and Solo.
Yeah, and I think too it makes sense for them to be twins. Doesn't Leia have twins in one of the first expanding universe?
In the expanded universe, yes, but they say that what happened in the expanded universe isn't going to be followed in these movies. But it would make sense.
It still makes sense for her to have.
Yeah, I've also heard that people think Kylo Ren is Luke Skywalker.
No.
We've seen pictures of him without his helmet on.
Yeah, we know it's Adam Driver, but is it really him in someone else's body? Like, is he using the Force? Who knows? So, what else?
Well, the other thing, too, is I think it's been pretty much confirmed that Ren is a title for the Knights of Ren. They've talked about that, too, and he's pictured with them in the trailer as well, so that's not even, like, a real name anyway.
And my brother told me, I didn't know this because I don't pay attention to stuff outside really of the movies, but like my brother told me that Han Solo has this wife, and so Finn could easily be a Solo as well.
I've heard that one
his wife is black. But I mean, I don't really like. It would not be shocking to me if any of them are Skywalkers/Solos. This is not, for me, that's not spoilery. It doesn't matter. Like, that's not, I just want to see how the story plays out.
Well, the story at its core is how the Skywalkers bring balance back to the Force. So at some point, one of these people have to be connected to Skywalkers. So whoever that is, if it's a twin, if it's a progeny, whatever it is, I think one of them are related.
So do you think, so that kind of brings up like a bigger question that I have about the Force and what it means to actually bring balance to the Force. And it's just crazy because you can Google like what does balance the Force mean, and then like tons of like posts and YouTube videos just talking about that. Because I recently did a rewatch of all the movies, and I this summer watched all of Star Wars, Clone Wars, and I watched them all caught up on Star Wars Rebels. So and especially in Clone Wars, you really get more into like the mythology of the Force, and like the role of the chosen one and all this. But then you think about it and you're like, okay, so if Anakin was supposed to bring balance to the Force, and people say that by him killing the Emperor that brought, or not him, but so he kills him essentially. So in that moment, that brings balance to the Force. But was that momentary? Like, what does it actually mean? Because then you read on. So I read a couple of the canon books, and now that we're moving on, it doesn't seem like there's any balance. That if there's these Knights of Ren, like, are they truly like using the dark side of the Force, or like are they Sith? Like, what does that actually mean? Like, what do you guys think it means?
I heard one thing, or I read one thing, that balance could mean 0. So 0 on either side, so maybe it does mean that all Skywalkers are eventually killed and all Vader's, Sith's, dark side people are killed, and so there's 0 people in the Force left. And then I also read something very interesting. Oh, wait, it was Stephen Colbert. Did you guys see his theory that he gave on his show? You guys should watch it. I'll link it. But he essentially says that the power has flipped. So the light side is now the dark side, and the dark side is coming back to bring balance. So that's it makes sense because we see Finn in a stormtrooper outfit, and we think has some sort of realization that something is wrong there. So
right. And just because Vader dies and just because the Emperor dies doesn't mean that the dark side is gone. I mean, I realize that there's the rule of 2 or whatever that comes out with the Sith, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the whole of the Empire, that's the whole of the dark side even.
Yeah.
And so at the end of Return of the Jedi, you feel like everything's happy and they're having their Ewok picnic and everything feels great. But there's plenty of fodder for Luke to still be struggling with the dark side. And the simple fact that Yoda and Obi-Wan and Vader and Qui-Gon, I guess, can all do the after-death hologram thing, that's a dark side thing.
No, but that isn't, though. It's like, well, if you watch the Clone Wars, there's like actually an episode that goes into like how like Qui-Gon learned it, and then like Yoda goes on this quest to learn it. And so it actually doesn't make sense that Anakin shows up at the end, because he technically, like, from what we know, he wasn't taught it, unless at some point he was. I mean, I think Natasha, you were kind of nodding, so I think you have some opinions on that.
Well, I just wanted to go back to more, not necessarily on the ghost thing, but just like the balance of the Force thing. I think I subscribe to the whole idea that it means equal good and equal bad in the universe. Like, not that good always prevails. I think it's definitely an actual equal level of both of those things. And also the thing with Finn too is I read a lot about that we're sort of being misled that he's not actually a Force user at all. That he's using the lightsaber because that's all he has there. It's in his possession, and he picks it up against Kylo Ren, but he's about to get his ass beat.
Which is what it looks like. I mean, it makes sense too. I mean, it fully makes sense for him to be the Han Solo, non-Force user of the world. And my brother, I don't read theories because my brother will just call me with them, and I'm like, shut up. So, but I think that there's a theory out there that Han is also like Force sensitive, and because he's the only like non-Jedi that touches a lightsaber and stuff, and you're just like, oh God, That's the theories. They'll be telling a linear story that makes sense to the masses, and not one that deals with like Darth Malak. I mean, that stuff. I don't know how deep that's gonna go.
I read that recently too about Han, and that the fact that he could fly the Millennial Falcon through an asteroid, and then I guess into that creature or whatever, like that there had to have been like Force at play to help that along. I don't know if I necessarily subscribe to that only good pilots are Jedis. Like that's kind of hard to swallow. But going to the Force thing, back to the Force thing, and I apologize, I know people are saying my sound might be a little bit messed up. A question that I had blogs about was, were the Jedis actually being really selfish about bringing the balance to the Force? Because from what I've read, to them bringing balance to the Force is they were so much on the side of good that they thought balance meant completely eliminating the dark side. And like there's some creed or some like oath that talks about completely eliminating the dark side, and that's where that's coming from, which doesn't really make sense to me. And so, I mean, when you think about a planet full of billions of people blowing up, and all that loss of life in an entire planet, plus all the other people that were killed because of this quest to find balance, like, was that sacrifice worth it? Especially if we don't even see, like, however many years later that things are really any better.
I don't know that
I just got really... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't know that that's balance. All one thing doesn't mean it's balance. So at the end of the day, I think there has to be both, and maybe there will always be both, and they will always be warring to whoever will win. I don't know.
But I mean, the Jedis weren't out to just balance the Force. Wasn't the point of what they were doing in the original trilogy. They were out to stop the Empire from destroying planets, which was a gigantic problem, obviously. I mean, it's not all, for me at least, it's not all about the Force. It's just a general warfare, Empire versus Republic, thing.
Speaking of destroying planets, do you think in the trailer when we see, is it over Kylo Ren's shoulder, that huge like red light, and then they cut to that forest being completely level, do we think that they're out there again destroying planets, and this is another reason, or maybe someone else is destroying planets?
Yeah, they've got they actually, I guess what I read was that they hollowed out a planet and used it to turn into like a super weapon. So that snowy planet thing that you see, there's like, if you pause it, you can see there's like a big trench, and I guess that's where they've got this weapon set up. So yeah, it looks like they're...
So we're getting another Death Star?
I guess. Well, yeah. I mean, he's pretty obsessed, it seems like, with Darth Vader's work and everything that happened with the Empire and hunting down, I guess, relics and things like that and creating what used to be. So I guess that's his...
So Kylo is like a deranged fanboy, essentially.
Yeah. But I mean, who knows how much influence Kylo has in whatever the First Order is doing? And I mean, the First Order seems to be on the ice planet, and they're the ones, I'm sure, with the means and the capabilities to turn a planet into a Death Star. And that's not Kylo. I mean, I'm sure he's somehow, involved, maybe because he's on the deck of what looks like the Star Destroyer or the whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
may just be right. He may just be like, as we said, that Knights of Ren, the kind of people who have to go out there and do stuff, and really it's Domhnall Gleeson's character that's like calling the shots, who no one's really seen and no one's really talked about.
He did say that his character is fully bad. Like
Domhnall?
Evil to the core. Yeah.
Well, he's like a Palpatine, right? Isn't he kind of like that? Well, he's not.
I thought he was
I
more
feel
like
like he's
Tarkin or something.
Tarkin. Yeah, I was.
So speaking of like guest stars and whatnot, I read one of the Path to the Force novels. That was the YA novel called Lost Stars, and it kind of it was so good. I really recommend it for everybody to read. It takes two kids that live kind of on a planet that just joined the Galactic Empire, and they're kind of brought up thinking that the rebels are terrorists and that the Empire's there for good. Like, they don't realize, they haven't seen the bad yet, so they actually go and join the academy and become part of the militia, or not militia, but the military. And after the Death Star is used, like so there's two friends, and one ends up just has to leave, joins up with the rebels, and the other one just feels so duty bound that they stay. So you see it from like both perspectives, and then so it kind of mirrors so all the events of like all three of the original movies are going on. And this is kind of like on, like the outskirts of this all happening. So they interact with some of, like, they've interacted with, like, Vader at one point, and Princess Leia, and anyways, so it's really cool. And what's awesome about it is, like, towards the end, they end up at Jakku, which seems like where this is all picking up. So it's kind of neat the way that was, like, all tied together.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the way Disney decided to say, this is, we're going to let go of this part of the expanding universe, and we're going to focus on comics, and we're going to focus on what we do from here on out, so that you have one canon that you can pull from, but that they're paying homage to a lot of other things, that they're tying it all together, or that even the authors and the creators and everything that have been doing stuff in the expanding universe for so long, and even the video games, BioWare, like they've been putting things together and it's all been tying together. But as far as the movie itself goes, I feel like all that might pay other things. It's going to have to tell its own story that's fully, related to the original trilogy instead to the prequels, but not be this amazing amount of like pulling in all these crazy. My friend said something about like, the Knights of the Old Republic and all. Just, I mean, it'd be great, but it only if it fits in with a story that's its own.
Yeah, I was listening to this interview. Oh, it was Mark Hamill when he was at the Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, and he was talking about how they asked them to be a part of the new trilogy, and that someone had asked him about it, and he was like, well, obviously it's not going to be about us. It has to be about a new generation. So I think there are winks and nods and thank you very muches to the old trilogies, but this is definitely a setup for everything that's to come, that this really is going to be more about Finn and Rey and whoever else is really the main characters, and a thank you to, Leia and Han and those folks.
Yeah. Speaking of, do we think that we're going to see original cast die in this? I think that Han will definitely die.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
I hope
I've heard
not.
that as well.
I mean, they're going to have a full Han Solo movie. So
Yeah,
I
but
don't...
young Han Solo.
Yeah, but won't they at some point at least like reference him, or maybe they've already shot it? I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it's not saying that he can't be. He's billed in Episode 8 already. So,
Well, then I wonder. Then they're talking about who Rey's crying over. I've heard a lot that it could be Chewbacca though, because they don't want the actor Peter Mayhew to not play Chewie, but going forward. But he's in pretty bad shape. I mean, he's pretty old now, but he's also so tall, so his knees don't work as well and stuff anymore. So he can't keep playing Chewbacca, but they don't want anybody else to do it. So they could potentially be killing him off.
Yeah.
I also heard, which would bring up something I want to talk about with you guys, is that possibly it's going to be Luke. But what that brings up for me is I want to know everyone's theories. Like, why haven't we seen him in the trailers, supposedly? Why isn't he on the posters, supposedly? What is it?
I have a theory.
Go for
All
it.
right.
My theory is that they're on the search for Luke. That something is, the threat is big enough, or whatever's happening to bring Finn and Rey together with Han and Chewie. And he's telling them that all the stories are true, and so because of that, they're like, well, then we need Luke then at that point.
Yeah.
They're on a quest to find him. So I don't think that he's in the movie, at least probably for a lengthy amount of time. Definitely not in the main story, but that he's present by his absence, right? Mm-hmm. Like he's obviously a topic of conversation. He's probably a sticking point in the whole film, and I think that they're out to find him.
I agree. In that interview with him, he had said, my story is done at the end of the second trilogy, or first, however you want to say it. His story is done. So I feel like a lot of people have said he's like a hobbit somewhere, and so that they have to go find him, and that would make sense why his lightsaber is with someone else, that he just got rid of it, and like he's gonna go make droids and moisture farm or whatever it is on another planet. And then I also he's gonna have to train all these people, because who else knows the Force like he does?
And that's where, well, it's a good question, but you would think after he tells Leia you know the Force too, he would train her or help. And I guess we'll find out. Maybe there was some circumstance where he had to go into hiding. But then, and I guess this question too. So between I guess the prequels and the I guess the originals, Vader had sent out all these Inquisitors to like kill off all the like remaining Jedi that didn't die from Order 66. And but at least right now in Star Wars Rebels, some of those people still exist, and there are people that are being born that have the Force that are completely outside of the Skywalker lineage. So, like, do they not exist anymore, or will some of those people be introduced now? Like, I'm curious about that. And I know, like, again, it's like one of those things. Like, if you're paying attention to this other stuff, then it's it's like, will it pay off in this movie? And can they do it in a way that if people don't know about the other stuff, will it matter? Like, it'll be. I'm curious because you would think like the Force would just naturally be born to people. It wouldn't just be stuck on just a few.
Yeah, well, that's what's going to be interesting about the very first moments of the movie is the crawl is going to go by, and we're going to learn a ton of what the movie is about as soon as we start reading after it says Star Wars. I mean, we're going to hear where the Jedi are. I mean, it's probably going to say, are the Jedi in hiding? Are they gone? Or, what's the First Order and how powerful are they? And we're going to learn so much before we even see a shot. And so for me, like, those questions are not, like, the center of what excites me about the movie, because I think that it'll be the first things we learn, like, how those things have played out and what's going on.
True.
Or the crawl tell us nothing. I don't know.
What are you going to say, Natasha?
I was just going to say that I think that if they are looking for Luke, there's my theory, or what I've also read other people think too, is that he may have trained Kylo Ren and failed, and maybe he's in hiding because Kylo's looking for him and looking for anybody else. That's a Force sensitive, so he could be hiding out, which it seems like, potentially Han is taking them there to whatever that temple is with the flags, and all the flags have Easter eggs in them, if you haven't looked at that too. But yeah, maybe they're going to look for him. So.
Yeah, I can't see him hiding because he failed or he's just scared of Kylo Ren. Like, if he could fight Darth Vader, he's not going to be scared of Kylo Ren. Like, I think he'd sacrifice himself or something. So if he's in hiding, which I think he probably is in some degree, it's for a reason. Either he's protecting something or protecting someone, or protecting the rest of the world from his, maybe he's, maybe he is the dark side. Maybe he is kind of the whole, like, centerpiece of how the dark and light side have come together at this point, and he's afraid of himself or something. I don't know.
Well, and that's also been like a really interesting fan theory that's been going around, that possibly Luke has gone to the dark side. And that, so I mean, like, I read this whole breakdown of the final scene, of like his final scenes with the Emperor Palpatine, and with Palpatine, like the way he was egging him on, like he kind of knew that he was already down that path. And he was like there, and then people claimed that online he became more powerful because then he got into the dark side of the Force. Like, it's all crazy. So, like, possibly even though he eliminated the Emperor, that he could have turned to the dark side essentially. What do you guys think about that? Yeah.
He could have. I don't think he did.
I don't think he did either. I think he's too, boy from the fields, or whatever that archetype is, like, to the T. I don't think he would have. I read that and I could see that, but I don't know. I mean, seeing his hand, it's obviously him touching R2-D2. Like, you're like, oh, why is he wearing that? Like, looks a little dark, but yeah. I don't know. We've been dorking out so much that we've missed some tweets, and there's a really awesome one from Jen Steele. I'm probably saying your Twitter name wrong, but she's talking about the bringing balance to the Force. And she says that, I feel that bringing balance to the Force means that you can come back to the light side after turning to the dark side. Yoda said, once you have started down the dark path forever? Will it dominate your destiny? Anakin turned to the dark side, but the love of his children caused him to turn back. This completed the prophecy. She then ends it with, this brought balance to the Force, allowing those who fall to have redemption. That's pretty great.
Well, she's
That's
right.
my BFF, by the way, so
Ah.
I'm not surprised that she came up with that really intricate comment.
Thanks, Jen. Natasha's BFF.
Thanks, Jen. I feel like that's a great theory because this story is so much about these classic archetypes and like light to dark, and like the story of redemption totally fits into that. So you just told us everything we need to know, Jen.
Good job.
Can we talk about fun stuff like how much I love Oscar Isaac?
Go for it.
I love him too, but did you read about the thing where people think he's gonna die?
I've heard that, and that's really sad, but I don't care because he's in so much awesome stuff that I can just watch him in other stuff and be happy. I love him so much.
Yeah, he looks hot, and he has that like super severe part, and it's like textured. Oh, it's a good look. Gotta go watch that again.
Why my tagline is I'll be Mrs. Hernandez, because that's his real last name. And I know I'm married and all, but we were born in the same year, Oscar Isaac, and that means something to me. Me and you and Harry Potter and Jamie and Sam Hewen. It's a good year.
I think like, as I get older, I feel like it's odd kinship to anyone born in 1980. So
I feel very connected. Yeah. I feel very connected to him. But I've watched him since I saw him like in the Nativity Story, because of course I watched the Nativity Story, and I was like, what? And I didn't really like care for him specifically, but I thought he was really good. But he looked like a character from my favorite book series, like how I imagined that character's face, and it blew my mind. And so then, of course, when I was reading that book series over and over again, I'm imagining Oscar Isaac, and it's one of my favorite characters from my favorite book series. And so I just got this weird rush of love for him after the Nativity Story, and then watched everything I could find that he has been in. So I love him a lot. A lot.
I have to agree with you. I don't think my love's at your level, but I agree with you. Go ahead, Natasha.
I really love Daisy Ridley and John Boyega because they are just adorable. I know that they're pretty new to everything, but they seem like such great fans. They're great people to follow on Instagram and Facebook. They post a lot of fun videos, but it seems like they're totally just as big fans as we are. So it's really cute to see them sort of being new to the Star Wars fan scene, I guess.
Their reaction videos for the trailers were the best part of the trailers. Like her crying, like we were all of them at all the same, like crying, him jumping over the couch. I was like, we are you.
Yes, especially because they haven't seen it. You know, I mean, I'm sure they've seen bits of it, but there's enough, you know, they don't know what it's going to be like. And so it's exciting for them, I'm sure, to see it all put together. And I mean, trailers are meant to be emotional and just be awesome, and I can imagine for somebody like Daisy especially, and John, I guess, I don't know what else he's been in, who don't have, you know, prior careers, to being the new generation of Star Wars, like that's got to be the greatest feeling in the whole world, to see your first trailer. I mean, I can't imagine. I love her too. I think she's really sweet, very happy, like giant smile. She's gonna be a star forever. I love her.
Did you hear there was like a theory, I mean, she doesn't really speak much in the trailer, but they made a point to say like her accent sounds British, but Princess Leia doesn't have that same, not that a British accent exists, but you know, whatever her accent is in the world, isn't the same as Leia, so they're like, so it can't be her daughter, or somehow they were separated. It's like, are people reading way too much into it? Or does like an accent really mean anything?
I read that she's been in hiding or something because Princess Leia is such a target, I guess, and they want to keep her safe, so she doesn't live with them. And
so she doesn't even know who she is?
Yeah, well, they also are saying, too, that she's got the Falcon, and so So maybe she's hiding out there, and her dad comes looking for her for some reason.
That makes a lot of sense with the trailer. That first scene of her like escaping through the. I keep forgetting the name of it.
Yeah, and then Han says, you know, Chewie, we're home. They
Yeah.
haven't been on the
They hadn't been
Falcon for
in
a while.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
It makes more sense than her being their daughter and her being lost and not knowing who she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would make sense for her to be on a safe planet, and it doesn't seem to me like Jakku is particularly safe because obviously there was a giant battle there. But I guess it's like old, super old wreckage of that battle, so maybe it is.
Yeah, maybe it's safe now because they wrote it off because it got wrecked so badly.
Yeah. Like the North Atlantic.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine to sail on now. Not going to go down like the Titanic.
Right.
It's already down there.
I was just going to say, I think there was the Battle of Jakku, and then it became part of the Rebel Alliance. Like, so I think they won over that space territory, so it might not be bad now. So I think it's just all wreckage of battles that were like 10 to 15 years prior, or even more. Possibly. I mean, who knows? It could be, you know, as much as I feel like I'm theorizing, I'm like, what about this and what about tying this in and this in? I know I'm going to see it and just be like completely amazed and dumbfounded and just, you know, like wide-eyed and love it.
But, big question, what if it sucks?
The whole thing?
Yeah, what if it's
totally
real sucks?
It's not possible. It's not possible.
I don't know. Everyone was really excited about episode 1 and couldn't get into Phantom Menace or any of them.
I heard that too.
The best thing George Lucas could have ever done was sign it all away.
Totally. I think so too. As long as he is not directly, like, I'm sure he has some say at some point. But as long as it's like, let's put it in with like a group of trained writers who really get your property a little more than you, whatever. I think it'll probably be really good, hopefully.
I mean, I don't think Attack of the Clones is a terrible movie.
I didn't either.
And I don't think Return of the Sith is a bad movie either. I think Return of the Sith is actually kind of a good movie. But I mean, it could be on par with Return of the Sith. Like passable, fine, but not this epic thing that we're expecting. Which would really...
Everybody said that, like, you know, Disney was gonna mess up everything for Marvel when they bought them out too, and that's been amazing. So.
Well, that's because Disney's amazing.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like, the naysayers, you know, all the old fans are like, oh, no, Disney's going to mess it up. They didn't mess it up.
No, because Disney doesn't mess shit up.
And they want to make money. Let's be honest. They want to roll. They just want to print that money on December 18th. They're not going to screw anything up. They're hopefully going to make it better. Hopefully.
I hope so, too. Everything I've seen so far has given me hope. But, I mean, I remember being on the sidewalk outside of the movie theater, spending the night. I spent the night and smoked clove cigarettes with my boyfriend to get tickets to the special edition.
You're such a badass nerd.
Cloves. Does everyone have tickets?
Not those cloves.
Did we all get tickets?
Huh?
Did we all get tickets for...
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Me too.
Yes.
That was,
I took a few out.
well, I'll let Beth finish her story, and then I'll jump in about tickets.
Oh, my point is, like, my boyfriend didn't take me to special edition even though we had tickets because he decided to go out and hang out with his friends. So I went on a date with somebody else who took me, who was a major Star Wars fan. It was the best date I've ever been on. Literally, the sex date I've ever been on was to Star Wars Special Edition on January the 31st, 1997 with Matt, last name I'm giving you, and it was the sexiest date ever. And I don't know why I got back with my boyfriend after that, but I did. But anyway, great date, not a great movie. I wasn't happy with the special edition. And all of that buildup and all that excitement and all the little teases and stuff about how it was going to be greater. And I was like, no. I want it back the way it was.
We Which is kind of funny because now the special editions are the canon, which is annoying. And because I went to buy I bought the Blu-rays a couple months ago because I realized I'm like, I don't actually own these. Or my ex has them. I thought I did at some point, but it's okay. I got Blu-rays. But I kept looking for like the original, and it kept saying original, but they just meant the original movies, not necessarily the original versions of the movies. So there's definitely some questionable scenes and CGI added, and it's really disappointing. But I'm sure I could scour the internet and find some on eBay, some VHSs.
I had the VHSs without the special edition until Ryan lent them to his brother and his ex-wife, and they lost them.
Oh,
or I think they sold them either on eBay or like in a yard sale after one of their domestics. Anyway, I don't have those anymore. really taps my eye.
But real quick, I was going to say about the tickets because you guys were talking about the trailer and when you saw it, and I was so wrapped up in ticket drama. So apparently when you're in the most populous city in the country, trying to get tickets to IMAX is a big problem. And there were 3 of us trying on different devices. I had 3 devices going at once trying to get tickets to IMAX, and we still didn't get it. So we ended up settling for just like a regular digital theater, and I'm like really disappointed about it.
You can go again. It's not one time only.
Well, most likely I will go again. But so I didn't realize. So I was trying to be so on point with the Star Wars stuff. I put them on, like I had them on tweet alert, so it would like pop up whenever Star Wars. I thought they'd say, okay, tickets on sale now, and I guess they just went on sale randomly. And so then I just happened to, as I was stressing out, I looked down and saw that they had tweeted the trailer after the show because I didn't even get to see it. Like I had it on background, didn't even notice it. So I didn't even get to watch it with everybody. I was so stressed, but it was okay. I got to watch it without football around it, and it was good.
That's much better.
Yeah.
You could move to Memphis. I had no problem getting tickets the next day.
Oh, I tried for probably 2+ hours, phone, or calling, computer. It was a hot mess, but I finally got them. And I got them at the ArcLight. Hopefully someone cool will show up. So
that is cool. I had to buy 20 tickets. Oh,
wow.
That was rough. I think I lost a few years off my life from that experience.
Don't ever offer to buy tickets for that many people, Natasha.
I had to because, well, we have Movie Tavern here where they serve like food and drinks, and they make you do assigned seating, so you pick your seats. So I had to buy all 20 at the same time so we could sit together.
Yeah. I thought 6 was a lot. We did assigned seating too, and I had to get 6, but
everybody for themselves is what I say. I bought a ticket for my husband so that he can protect me from gunslingers, and I bought a ticket for my daughter because she's into Star Wars now, and my brother and sister called me and they were like, when are we going to Star Wars? And I was like, y'all are too late. I already got my tickets. You can try to get in the same theater as me.
Oh boy, Beth, spoken like a true Han Solo.
I was like, no, everybody for themselves. I'm not concerned with whether or not y'all get in. I'm concerned with me. I'm not normally that selfish. Normally I would get tickets for other people, but this was Star Wars and I just didn't care.
I'm kind of with you, Beth. I keep checking IMAX, and even if it's a later one, I'm still going to buy it because I'm going with 3 people, and one of them works really early, has to be at work at 6 a.m., so she didn't want to go to like any later showings, and I might just ditch her. Like, I want IMAX. That's what I want. I want to see it for the first time in IMAX. Oh well.
I don't like 3D or IMAX. I like give me a regular screen. I want it to be as regular as possible. I don't want my eyes strained. I'm so old. So that's how I feel.
Does the 3D make you sick?
3D is obnoxious. I hate it. Like, I don't like to wear the big things. I feel very disgusting in a 3D wearing somebody else's glasses.
I am so with you on that.
Yeah.
I've only been to 2 3D movies, and they were both disappointments. I don't even remember what they were.
I hate 3D movies, but I wanted to see it in this theater, and that's what they had. So. 3D.
Well, I figure they're gonna do it right. I mean, there's so much hype around this movie that the 3D should be worth it, I would think. But lately, but I'm with you. Like, I understand sometimes 3D just seems really dumb for certain movies. So I forget there's one of the movie sites out there that'll talk about the 3D and rate it whether you should see it in 3D or not. So for other movies, I typically look at this, but at that website. But for this, I'm just figuring it's going to be good.
I think I saw Alice in Wonderland in 3D. It was terrible.
Well, that movie was kind of...
I hate them all. Okay, can we talk about this one question and then wrap up a little?
Yeah.
When we were preparing for this hangout, you sent this question that I was like, what? And then I thought about it and I was like, oh my God, when you talk about it. So you said, who would you like to see from past movies or shows make it into this movie? Like a specific character.
Yeah.
Go.
I was debating about this because, like, you know, C-3PO is kind of really annoying, but he's in, like, every other movie. So then I was, like, debating with myself. I'm like, do we want him in it? Which I assume they would do because I think he's in the movie poster. But
he's in it, yeah.
Yeah, he's in it.
He has a red arm.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So I was thinking about that. I was like, okay, well, he's probably in it already. But I was like, is Lando supposed to be in it?
I heard this crazy theory that John Boyega's character is Leia and Lando's love child.
Oh my gosh.
That was the best.
Oh my God. All right, so other people go. Go ahead.
I like this question because I really hope Hayden Christensen somehow makes it in so that he can have a redeeming moment. I've met him at an In-N-Out, and he was a very sweet gentleman. I feel like he got the shaft. So I just want him to have a redeeming moment. And I think he is because I heard something about he is at some point in this movie or in a future movie. I don't know where I heard that. I'll have to find it.
I think he is too. It might be a future movie, but I read something about them seeing a fully working, like, Darth Vader outfit, chest and head and stuff. And so I think that is a possibility.
Fingers crossed, ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting to see in some form Palpatine. I mean, I get that he is dead, but
they cloned him a whole bunch in the books. Not that those count anymore, but
yeah, I mean, there's anything is possible, and he also is in all 6 movies, and it would be cool to see some aspect of him. I mean, we see Vader, and we're gonna see, you know, all of that. So it would be cool to see.
Or, I mean, oh, sorry, Natasha, you go, because sorry, I'm jumping in.
That's okay. I was just going to say Lando was my pick, too. I think they're saving him for a cameo. I hope. I really hope. And I know he can't be in it because, well, they already used Obi-Wan as a ghost, but old and everything. But I really just want to see Ewan McGregor come back to Star Wars. I'd really like for him to get his own standalone movie. So, because I love him. And I think he said that he would love to play Obi-Wan again. I think he wants the chance to work with a different director, and I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I've been following him on Instagram, and every time, like, he pops up in a picture, and I'm like, oh. So I'm a big fan of his. But speaking of Ewan McGregor and Obi-Wan, I've been reading, and I never really thought about it, but then I've been reading all these theories, and they were talking about, like, how dumb it was for Obi-Wan to, like, hide Luke Skywalker on Tatooine, and still he goes by, like, Skywalker and puts him with, like, Anakin's family, and then they're, like, he's hiding out on the same planet, and I'm like,
hiding in plain sight. Sight.
Dustin and I were just talking about the other day, and we were like, oh my God, it's so stupid.
It's the last place you would look because it's so obvious. Didn't y'all learn anything from Twilight?
Like the FBI.
for that.
Did you guys hear that Jar Jar Binks theory? That's like my favorite thing of the week.
That can't be true because I hate that character so much.
I think everyone hates that character. I do too, and I don't think they are nuanced enough to have thought about that, but I think him being some kind of like Sith Lord in disguise, Yoda-esque character is like the best, most crazy idea. I wish they could have done it, but it just wouldn't have happened anyway.
No, he's a total throwaway.
Sad. I just loved it. The theory was great, though.
There's more validity to Wicket being a Sith Lord than there is Jar Jar Binks being any kind of mastermind.
I'd watch it.
Man, I'd watch the Ewoks just totally destroy some people, just cannibalize them.
That's another thing that I've been reading that, like you don't think about as a kid. You're like, oh, wait, they were totally going to eat them. Like, they were really going to eat them. And then they were saying how, like, they're not as cute and fuzzy as you think because, they're all partying at the end. And it's really because they have all this, now they have stormtrooper meat to eat for weeks to come.
Yeah.
They're carnivores, as Emerson, my daughter, would say.
But the sad thing is, their whole planet got destroyed. All that Death Star wreckage, fell onto that planet. They're probably dead. They're probably all dead.
Totally ruined their ecosystem, right? Because they're all natural.
Yeah.
Everything. Lots
I
of
think
planetary
right.
waste. Yeah. Sad times.
Yep.
Well, I guess so. We're hitting about an hour, and so I guess we should wrap it up. So I will say final thoughts and what is one moment that you're looking forward to the most.
I'll go first.
Okay. Yeah.
My final thought is I really honestly cannot watch anything without tearing up. It's like just a big bubble of love for me. Especially because I was as close to Harrison Ford as I am to my camera right now just a couple of months ago. And Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher and all of them. So that was the best. But I get very emotional and very sad. And I already said it, but my biggest moment that I can't wait is I really need to know what the Finn and Poe dynamic is. I want to know why Finn is looking at him that way and what their tension is and how they fit together. I'm really excited about, because I don't think that anybody's come up with good theories as to what that really is about, and I'm excited about
it. Nikki?
I think what popped into my head was just sitting down in the theater and the lights going down and the crawl coming up and everyone just having that collective moment together. The movie can be whatever. I really hope it's great, but I think just that we're finally here, oh my gosh, after all of this stuff and having that moment. So that, and I just want to see Ridley be a really cool female character. Ridley. Yeah. Daisy Ridley. Jeez.
Oh, speaking of that collective moment, was there ever that moment for you guys when in the theater for the first time when you were watching Episode 3 when Yoda goes, or is it 2, where Yoda fights Count Dooku for the first time, and you see Yoda we've all seen it in the trailer, Yoda with his tiny little lightsaber, turning it on, but when it happened in the theater, did your theater jump up and start yelling? Because mine did completely. The entire place was yeah! You couldn't even see the scene. It was the greatest cinematic moment, in a theater for me, because it was just everybody was going nuts. It was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm really most looking forward to being there with some of my dearest friends who are all the biggest Star Wars fans. I've been to Star Wars conventions with these people. We do costume stuff for charity together. They're going to be the most excited people with me there, so I'm mostly looking forward to just experiencing it with them. Whatever the movie is, I'm excited to be with them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I didn't even get tickets for my brother. But
Speaking, that's funny because I've talked about with your brother like so many Star Wars theories when he was here for Comic-Con.
Oh gosh.
No, I totally enjoyed it nerding out, and I was going to say, Natasha, I'm going to totally tweet your friend and ask her about, see if she's read some of the books that I've read, because there's a couple other ones that I've read that are in canon. But anyways,
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting term because if you asked me maybe like 3 years ago what I liked better, Star Trek or Star Wars, because apparently that's something, you know, it's like Harry Potter or Twilight or whatever you're comparing. I probably would have said Star Trek, just because it was more a part of like my not daily life, but because of all the different series and then also the movies, and I don't know, I just identified it, even though I liked Star Wars, but something in the past, I guess I'm just feeling like nostalgia over just, you know, it being back and it continuing the series and then really getting into Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. Like I'm just like super into it right now. Like I'm just like it's kind of taking over. So I think I just might be really emotional just like sitting down, as you were saying, Nikki, and just like the lights coming down and the scroll coming up. But I think for me, I think it's just like the first time that somebody uses a lightsaber and just like taking it back to using the Force and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm just super excited about that.
When the Force awakens in your pants.
That's good.
Not a lightsaber. You just happy to see me.
Okay, Oscar.
All right. Well,
Mrs. Hernandez to you.
Thanks everyone. Thanks Beth. Thanks Natasha. Thanks Nikki for joining us tonight, for Talking Normal. If you guys like this, let us know. I apologize for me stumbling over my words so much. It's the Invisalign. It makes me stumble over words and I mumble, and I apologize. And anyways, let us know if we should do more things about Star Wars. Maybe we'll do one after we've all seen the movie so we can talk about and gush over our favorite parts, or perhaps parts we hated. Hopefully not. And otherwise, continue to tweet us your theories and just other things you're excited over. Feel free, if you've seen Star Wars, the Clone Wars series or Rebels, tweet me. I'd love to talk to anybody about it consistently, always, forever. So, all right. So thanks, everyone, and have a lovely evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.